In contour crafting, the cost of construction will be about 1/5 of what it is right now. Therefore, we can afford to spend more on strengthening the structure by putting more steel reinforcement, using more exotic, super high strength concrete materials that are more expensive, which would make the cost of a conventionally built structure very high. But in contour crafting, still you can have reasonable construction costs and build very high strength structures. Therefore, especially for the third world country, the technology has a great potential. If you may recall, last year, for example, an earthquake in the city of Bam,
yes, in Iran.
Yeah, killed nearly 40,000 people. The strength of that earthquake was as much as the strength of the earthquake in Northridge, which killed only 56 people.
Right.
So it tells you that the quality of housing has a lot to do with the extent of such disasters, the impact of such disasters. Contour crafting has the promise of really providing far better quality housing to the low-income population of the world.
It's so amazing just sitting here having a conversation about something that, do you wake up in the morning thinking, I actually invented something that could save all of these lives? It's a wonderful thing.
That actually gives me a lot of gratification, and it's become really my utmost wish to see this happen before I go, that it will have impact, especially in the emergency housing and low-income housing.
Yes. Well, speaking of seeing, let's see one more clip
okay.
of exactly how contour crafting works. Can we put one in before the break? All right, let's see this.
The next thing shows that contour crafting has the capability to build not only straight walls, but very exotic curved structures that architects really are interested in.
Oh, you wouldn't have thought that possible.
Yeah, the most famous architects around the world have contacted us. They have shown interest in contour crafting. They can't actually wait for the technology to be ready. Such a wall, if you were to build it with conventional approach, you would have to pay a lot for building wooden molds to pour concrete in. The formwork will be very expensive. And for certain features like doubly curved surfaces like spheres, it would be nearly impossible to build by hand.
Yeah.
Therefore, as a result of this technology, in the future you're going to see houses, neighborhoods and cities that look very different.
How fantastic.
It's going to impact the architecture of the world, basically.
Wow. That is incredible. And another, speaking of the architecture of the world, what about outside of the Earth as we know it? I heard that NASA is giving you research grants. They're thinking of putting contour crafting for building in space?
Right. Actually, as soon as we finished our machine that built a wall, full-scale wall section, that machine was taken by NASA because they were very eager to try building structures with material that resembled lunar regolith, lunar soil. Therefore, that machine is now at NASA, and we're building a second generation of contour crafting machine at the Information Sciences Institute now of USC in Marina del Rey. Yes, the technology is one of the feasible and most attractive probably technologies to work in a totally autonomous mode on other planets, extraterrestrial applications. Conceivably, a contour crafting machine can excavate the lunar soil, and we are proposing one way to do the extrusion is to...
I really want to hear this, but I want to give it its due time, and we have to cut to a quick commercial break, but we're going to hear more about contour crafting in outer space with Dr. Khoshnevis. You're watching CU at USC. Stay tuned. Welcome back to CU at USC. I'm your host, Jill Schneiderman, and I'm here with Dr. Khoshnevis. And when we left for the break, we were talking about contour crafting in outer space. I cut you off for the wonderful commercials you just saw. Please continue.
Yes, as I was saying, we can conceivably have a contour crafting machine that is deployable. You can put it in a rocket and send it up there. And then it self-assembles into a contour crafting machine with an excavator module that brings the soil and puts it in the system. Because water is kind of rare there, we could conceivably again melt the lunar regolith, much like flowing lava, volcanic lava, and extrude that. The nice thing about it is that there's no oxygen up there, therefore you're not going to see this oxidation and this porosity in the extruded. So it's going to be pretty consistent, solid depositions, and we can build observation platforms, communication platforms, laboratories, human habitats.
All in outer space. It's incredible.
Right.
So let's look at one more clip of an overview of how all of this works. You can see the first house that might be in outer space. Let's take a look.
Okay, well, this is for really terrestrial, for application on Earth. Imagine that you have a development site and you're building houses. All you have to do is to really set those two rails on the sides, slightly wider than the houses, the distance between the rails will be. And then the machine that you see there collapses. It's on top of a truck, gets to the site, and you erect it at the site, assemble it like that in maybe less than an hour. And then you fill the tank with the materials, and the machine will follow exactly the architectural design and builds the house in a layer by layer fashion. And you saw the close-up of how the walls will be smoothed out and the multiple material structure of the wall. What is not shown in here is the automated plumbing system and electrical and so on. The viewers who are interested can go to the website of the technology. It's called www.contourcrafting.org. Again, it's contourcrafting, no blank in between, .org. And you can see these animations plus more articles and different viewpoints about the technology. And I also welcome your contributions in form of ideas and comments.
So let me ask you about that in terms of contributions of ideas. You teach here at USC a class called Creativity and Invention.
Right.
How do you inspire students to be inventors like yourself?
Right. Well, I'm really enthusiastic about that class. I created that course because I believe in its mission very much. There is this myth that people believe largely that creativity has to be in your blood, your genes, whatever, that it cannot be attained, it cannot be learned. Some people have it, some people don't. I'm very much against that kind of mindset. I believe creativity can be acquired, can be taught, and step number one for it is intention. I believe the best form of living is the one that extensively uses one's creativity. And we are each pretty much different, like our fingerprint is different. Our mind, the way we think about things, but the way we observe and view things and analyze and synthesize are all pretty unique to us. And it would be a pity if we don't use our very special capability in our lifetime. And so I try to encourage the students to tap into their creative abilities by first letting them know that they do not have to live a standard life. The first really step to
think outside the box, no pun intended.
Right, right. The first step is to not necessarily go by the criteria set for us outside of us.
And by that, you're referring to grades, right? Because
grades is one thing.
Your class is actually pass-fail, right?
Right,
Do you think that that encourages creativity when students aren't bogged down worrying about grades?
Yes, true. I believe that grading system generally causes students to be conservative. You don't want to make mistakes. You want to make sure that you answer everything right. The creative passage has a lot of failures. You have to do a lot of things wrong in order to finally get it right. And every thing that you do wrong, you learn something from it. And the collection of those learnings are the ones that will help you in future idea generations. So creative passage basically is a lot of branches that you go back and forth. It's not a straight line. And it could conceivably, some people may say it's a waste of time. There's a famous experience that one had with Edison. A friend asked him, after 4 years of working on the light bulb filament and not coming up with the right invention, the friend told him that you wasted 4 years of your life without any results. And he said, what do you mean no results? I found out 2,000 ways by which you cannot make filament. So
that narrows it down.
Right, for a person who's pursuing creative ideas, who's in creative path, there is no failure. Everything is full of joy and everything is full of learning. If you take that path with enthusiasm, there is really no failure. And successes are not necessarily that of a big deal either. You know, right now, contour crafting is one of my inventions that has attracted a lot of attention. But this does not necessarily mean that my mind is totally after this. I'm constantly thinking about a lot of other inventions.
Right. It's wonderful. And it's a wonderful way not just for such an amazing inventor like you, but for everybody to try to live their lives on a daily basis in a creative way.
I personally am of the belief that it's a problem that we have had only one Da Vinci in so many centuries, one Edison in so many centuries. I believe every person can be a Da Vinci and Edison.
It's just not developed in us.
Right. It's because we don't subscribe to that belief that we can do that. I don't necessarily claim that I am a very accomplished or noble person, but I think I can be. I really believe in that. And I'm on that passage. And this is what I encourage my students.
Well, I wish that we had more time. We have to wrap it up, but I encourage you all to take his class at USC, Creativity and Invention. If I wasn't a senior and leaving, I would also. But thank you so much for joining us. This was great. Dr. Khoshnevis, have a great night, and we'll see you tomorrow night for another episode of See You at USC. Bye.